Why would the universe worship silence when sound itself creates worlds? In Hindu thought, the cosmos was born from sound. But when sound spins into chaos, when storms roar and voices turn venomous, a different power must arise. A power not of words but of their stillness. That power has a face. She is Bagalamukhi, the goddess who can halt chaos with silence. Why is Bagalamukhi counted among the 10 Mahavidyas, the fiercest faces of the Divine Mother? Bagalamukhi, the 8th Mahavidya, embodies stambhana Shakti, the power to paralyze, to stop in its tracks. Unlike other goddesses who blaze with action, her gift is the pause. She halts speech before it harms, thought before it destroys, conflict before it erupts. To her devotees, she is protector, guide, and weapon, all through stillness. She is not absence of power, she is power at rest, waiting, watching, decisive. What does it mean to silence chaos? To hold still the wildest force, not with noise, but with silence itself. Bagalamukhi. What does it mean? Scholars tell us it may come from Valga, the Sanskrit word for bridle. To place a bridle upon a wild horse is to control its force, and so Bagalamukhi is the one who reins in, she who halts, she who silences, she who takes command of the untamed energies of the world. Others read it differently. Baka, meaning crane, the crane, poised and still, waiting in silence before the decisive strike. Bagalamukhi, then, is the crane-faced goddess, patient, still, precise, her silence more powerful than any noise. Her iconography makes this silence visible. She is golden in complexion, clad in brilliant yellow garments, seated upon a lotus throne. In one hand she raises her heavy mace, and with the other she seizes the tongue of a demon. The image is startling, even unsettling. A goddess gripping a tongue, freezing speech at its source. But here lies her essence. Bagalamukhi is stambhana Shakti, the power of stilling, stunning, immobilizing. Her mace is strength, her grasp is silence. Together they reveal the truth that chaos cannot be ended by more chaos. It can only be stilled. Every detail of her form carries meaning. The yellow robes, the color of turmeric, of earth purified and sanctified. The lotus seat, stillness rising out of the muddy waters of life. The demon's tongue, the weapon of falsehood and destruction, silenced at its root. She is at once beautiful and terrifying, nurturing and destructive. Her golden radiance is not the warmth of comfort, but the brilliance of a truth that cannot be ignored. In her silence, there is both peace and power. What divinity emerges when speech fails and chaos reigns? Two legends anchor her arrival in myth, and they unravel the cosmic thread of her significance. First, in the Satya Yuga, creation teetered on the edge. A vast storm churned the cosmos toward ruin. Disturbed, Lord Vishnu performed penance on the shores of Haridra Sarovar, a lake glowing with turmeric. From that golden water, Parvati rose as Bagalamukhi, and her silent presence calmed the storm, restoring cosmic order. Second, there was Madan, a demon empowered with Vaksiddhi. Whatever he uttered came true. His unchecked speech turned devastation into reality. The gods cried out, and Bagalamukhi responded. She seized his tongue and rendered his voice and his power mute. Before ending his life, he asked that he be worshipped with her, and she agreed. These stories are not just myth. They are metaphors of cosmic interruption and restoration. The storm is speech uncontrolled. The demon's tongue is thought unguarded. Bagalamukhi is the quiet that halts both. To understand Bagalamukhi, we must step back into the circle of the Mahavidyas, the 10 great wisdom goddesses, the fierce and radiant forms of the Divine Mother. They are not separate deities, but facets of the same cosmic truth. 10 reflections of absolute reality, each embodying a force of creation, preservation or destruction. Kali, the devourer of time. Tara, the rescuer. Tripura Sundari, beauty as ultimate truth. Chinnamasta, the self-sacrificing flame, and among them Bagalamukhi, the stillness that halts the storm. The Mahavidyas are said to have manifested through Śiva himself. When Śiva resisted his consort Parvati, she revealed her 10 cosmic faces to him, each form more astonishing than the last. In that moment, Bagalamukhi appeared, golden, silent, and unyielding. With her, Parvati was not only Śiva's beloved, but also his challenger, his equal, his mirror. For Śiva is pure consciousness, limitless, unbound, but consciousness alone cannot dissolve illusion. It needs the stilling force of Shakti. It needs Bagalamukhi. Together they represent balance, Śiva as the eternal witness and Bagalamukhi as the silence that cuts through noise and illusion. Without her, movement continues endlessly. With her, all motion halts and truth is revealed. This is her place in the circle of the Mahavidyas. She is not the loudest, nor the fiercest, but she is the anchor, the golden silence that completes the 10. What is true power? Is it the force to strike, or the wisdom to still? Unlike the goddesses of fire, ferocity, or creation, Bagalamukhi embodies stambhana Shakti, the power to paralyze. She does not destroy, she does not inflame, she does not argue. Instead, she silences, she freezes movement, suspends noise, halts aggression at its root. Her grasping of the demon's tongue is more than a mythic gesture. It is a profound metaphor. Speech, uncontrolled, can create wars, break families, collapse kingdoms. By holding the tongue, she teaches that restraint is the highest form of strength. In yogic philosophy, she is not only the silencer of outer enemies, but of the inner ones, restless thoughts, turbulent desires, and the ceaseless chatter of the mind. Her golden stillness is a gateway to meditation, where the practitioner experiences the vast silence beneath the noise of life. Philosophers see her as the still point in the wheel of existence, the axis around which chaos spins, yet itself unmoving. Spiritually, she is the moment when time seems to stop, when anger loses its fire, when fear is dissolved by calm clarity. And this is why she is vital among the Mahavidyas. If Kali is the fury of time and Tara the wisdom of sound, Bagalamukhi is the silence that allows wisdom to be heard and the stillness that disarms time itself. She is not only a goddess of victory over enemies, she is the victory of silence over noise, of truth over deception, of awareness over illusion. How does one approach the goddess of silence, with noise or with stillness? Unlike many deities whose worship is loud with symbols and chants, Bagalamukhi is often invoked in quietude. Her rituals are deliberate, precise, and saturated with the color yellow, her sacred hue. Turmeric, the golden spice, is not just an offering, but a symbol of her essence. Devotees prepare turmeric garlands, offer yellow flowers, and wear saffron or yellow garments to align with her radiance. Even her sacred water body, the Haridra Sarovar, is imagined as a lake of liquid turmeric. The core of her worship lies in stambhana rituals, the power to immobilize. Tantric practitioners, under strict guidance, recite her mantras to still enemies, silence disputes, or stabilize restless minds. But the scriptures caution, her energy must not be misused, for what halts one's foe can also rebound on the unworthy practitioner. Her mantra, repeated in meditative rhythm, is not merely sound, but silence wrapped in sound. With each repetition, the devotee seeks to silence speech that harms, thoughts that agitate, and fears that disturb. Bagalamukhi is also the goddess of protection. Devotees facing litigation, conflicts, or dangers call upon her as a shield. In temples, special homas are performed, where ghee and turmeric are offered into the fire, flames glowing golden like her aura. Some see her worship as esoteric, confined to tantric circles. Yet for many she is simply a mother, a silent guardian who stands between them and chaos. Her rituals, though complex, always return to a single truth, that silence is the highest weapon and stillness the deepest shield. To worship Bagalamuki is not only to pray for victory over enemies, it is to pray for victory over noise itself. Where does the goddess of silence reveal her presence? Her temples are few, but each is wrapped in legend, ritual, and geography steeped in golden light. Unlike other deities whose shrines are scattered across India, Bagalamuki's sacred geography is precise and deeply symbolic. The most revered of her seats lies in Datia, Madhya Pradesh, the famous Bagalamukhi Peeth. Perched upon a hill near a lake, this temple is said to have been established by mystics who invoked her presence directly into the sanctum. Even today, tantric practitioners flock here, seeking her power for victory, protection, and silence over chaos. Another powerful shrine rests in Bankhandi, Himachal Pradesh, near Kangra. Surrounded by mountains and rivers, the temple echoes with the serenity of the Himalayas. Here, her worship merges with nature, the stillness of snow, the golden glow of turmeric offerings, the silence of mountain winds. In Guwahati, Assam, near the ancient Shakti Peeth of Kamakhya, another Bagalamuki temple stands, linking her worship to the wider tantric traditions of the northeast. Here, her presence is not separate from Kali and Tara, but part of the living tapestry of the Mahavidyas. Each site holds its own ritual style, yet all resonate with her essence. Yellow-clad priests, turmeric offerings, and chants that do not rise in frenzy, but descend into silence. Scholars note that Bagalamuki temples are often situated near lakes or rivers, symbols of stillness that mirror her power to halt motion. Geography itself becomes a metaphor. Where water pauses, where wind softens, where sound dissolves, there she is. To step into her temple is to step into an atmosphere where the world slows down. It is not stone and ritual alone that make these places sacred. It is the silence, the golden quiet, that marks them as her true geography. But what does a goddess of silence mean to us today in a world louder than ever? In ancient times, Bagalamuki was invoked to paralyze enemies, to silence destructive forces, to shield kingdoms from chaos. But in today's world, her relevance remains profound, only the battlefields have changed. Now the enemies are not always armies at the gates. They are the inner wars of the mind, stress, distraction, anxiety, the constant noise of modern life. In an age of endless notifications, news feeds, and voices competing for attention, Bagalamuki's gift is as vital as ever, the power of pause. Her worshippers describe her as the force that cuts through mental chatter. Psychologists and spiritual teachers alike draw parallels between her stambhana Shakti, the power to halt, and the practice of mindfulness. Both invite us into stillness. Both silence what is destructive to reveal what is real. In India and across the world, her image has moved beyond temple walls. She appears in yoga studios, in meditation circles, even in psychological discourse. Not confined to ancient worship, but alive as a universal force of focus, discipline, and inner peace. Her silence does not belong to the past. It is the stillness we seek today, in the middle of noise, distraction, and speed. Devotees in the digital age turn to her mantras before exams, before court cases, before important decisions, moments where silence and clarity are the true weapons. Her rituals may still be drenched in yellow, in turmeric and gold, but their meaning stretches into the heart of modern life. Perhaps that is Bagalamuki's greatest relevance today. She reminds us that silence is not weakness, but power. In a world of noise, it is silence that conquers. Bagalamuki is not the end of motion. She is the keeper of its key. She turns it only when the world needs silence more than sound. In that stillness lies her gift: protection, clarity, and truth. Tell me this. If you could pause one thing in your life right now, one noise, one worry, one chaos, what would it be? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if this story of silence inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more journeys into the mysteries of the Mahavidyas.